Here, and for taking the time to pause, to gather, and to be a part of this evening. I am Bianca Rosemeyer, your host, and I warmly welcome you to this momentous occasion of the launch of a very special book authored by a storyteller, a seeker, a human being driven by human-centered design and innovation, a photographer, an entrepreneur, a pioneer, and so much more. We are gathered here this evening for the launch of Things We Don't See, the latest work by Mr. L.C. Singh. Let's have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is not just a launch of a book. It is the sharing of a journey, one that moves from a village in eastern Uttar Pradesh near Benares, through boardrooms across the world, and into the quieter spaces of reflection. A journey shaped not only by what was seen, but perhaps more deeply by what was not. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here to witness this moment. Now, to begin this evening, I invite you to watch a short film, a reflection of a journey, the experiences, questions, and moments that have shaped this amazing and inspiring book. So I'd like you all to please direct your attention onto the screen behind me. Thank you.
I've seen what life in its silence allowed me to glimpse.
Plane has crashed right into the World Trade Center. You can see this.
राष्ट्रपति जी ने आपातकाल की घोषणा की है.
This is All India Radio. Ayatollah Khomeini returns to Tehran to massive crowds.
But it began with the curiosity of a child.
Bauji, is it true? Mama says there are things we don't see.
The lakadbagga in the woods, a ghost in the forest, a chudail with twisted feet.
She's out there, Bauji.
They were never just stories. They were my first doorway to the unknown, where fear walks beside wonder.
Beta, if you don't go to school, how will you know what you don't know?
Ma, I need to buy a pen.
Beta, do you think I would not give you 9 annas if I had them?
Curiosity carried me across life.
Don't give up. Let destiny guide you.
It carried me through cities and souls, through victory and loss, through what the world calls life. Congratulations, young man. You are in.
Between 1:30 and 3:40 p.m., a series of 12 explosions ripped through Mumbai as bombs placed cars, scooters,
And after all the roads I have traveled, it seems as if I had never truly left, only taken a longer way home. Still curious. Still wondering about the Judail, the Lakadbagga, the ghost in the forest. Perhaps it was the unseen that awakened the search within me. What's the topic? Life. A search where questions grow quiet and only stillness remains.
Things We Don't See by L.C. Singh. Available worldwide on Amazon and select bookstores.
What a beautiful film, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have another round of applause, please. I have only taken a longer way home. Beautiful memories of family, friends, achievements, and reflection. That was just an insight into what went into shaping this wonderful work of art, where storytelling comes to life. We now come to that momentous part of the evening, the unveiling of this inspiring and impactful book, Things We Don't See. I would like to invite on stage the man of the hour and the author himself, Mr. L.C. Singh, to a round of applause, please. Welcome, sir. Now, joining L.C. Singh, we have a few very special guests on stage for the book launch. Each of them has been a part of L.C.'s journey in various ways across different phases of his life and have impacted his life richly. I'd like to begin this evening with Mr. Uday Chandra Singh. They say family is everything, ladies and gentlemen. And joining L.C. Singh on stage this evening is his brother, in whose footsteps he entered BHU. They have been companions from the earliest chapters of his life. And joining Mr. Uday Chandra Singh is his lovely wife, Mrs. Hiravati Singh, as well. Let's give them a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Uday Chandra Singh and Mrs. Hiravati Singh. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Singh. Up next, we have two former colleagues. They have been with LC Singh through significant years of building and leadership. So without further ado, let us warmly welcome on stage Mr. S. Mahalingam and Mr. Nirmal Jain. Welcome, gentlemen. Mr. Mahalingam, Mr. Nirmal Jain. We're honored to have you here with us this evening. Up next, we have someone who has been a close associate and who has witnessed LC Singh's creative and artistic explorations over the years. So without further ado, I'd like you all to put your hands together and welcome Mr. Pankaj Parashar. Welcome, Mr. Parashar. We're very happy to have you join us here this evening. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, someone extremely close to Mr. LC Singh, his wonderful daughter Swati, representing her late mother, Mrs. Manorama Singh, and her sister, Nimisha, who is currently in South Africa. So with a round of applause, let us welcome Miss Swati Singh. Welcome, Swati. Could we have someone take the bouquets, please, and bring us the books? Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after having our special guest on stage with Mr. LC Singh, the author of Things We Don't See, it is time for that very momentous and special moment this evening, the unveiling of this very special book, Things We Don't See. So may I request our guest on stage, once you have all books in hand, I shall give you a countdown and we shall unveil the books by releasing the ribbons from each book. So on the count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and can everyone say 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Things We Don't See, the unveiling of this fantastic book, authored by a man who needs absolutely no introduction, Mr. LC Singh. Let's give a resounding applause. Can we face the cover to the camera, please? We'll face the cover to the camera. Thank you. Things We Don't See, ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful reflection spanning multiple years in the life of LC Singh. I take this opportunity to thank all our guests on stage, Mr. Uday Chandra Singh, Mrs. Hiravati Singh, Mr. Mahalingam, Mr. Nirmal Jain, Mr. Pankaj Parashar, Ms. Swati Singh, and of course, Mr. LC Singh. While the rest take their seats, I'd like to invite Mr. S. Mahalingam to the mic, please. Now, Mr. S. Mahalingam, fondly known as Maha, served at TCS for over 42 years, including as Chief Financial Officer and Executive Director, playing a pivotal role in shaping the organization into a global IT leader. He has also shared years of professional association with L.C. Singh as a colleague during some of their most formative phases of building and leadership. So I'd like you all to welcome once again on stage Mr. S. Mahalingam. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please.
Elsie, it's great to be here today. As you know, he sent the book to me. He put a message in the WhatsApp group that we are all part of, and thereafter I sent him a congratulatory note, and then he sent me that book. And like a good project manager, 3 days later he sent me a message asking me how much I liked that book. So. So I said I had not started reading it. But since he said that, I started at that point in time, and it didn't take me 3 days to read. It was one of those unputtable books for me, because I had known Elsie from late 70s, early 80s onwards, and so much of the journey resonated with me because I was also part of TCS at the same time as he was, and therefore lots of characters that he talks about in the book were common. Then after I sent him a short note on how much I liked the book, he said, "You've got to come here and you've got to speak." So I said, "What do you want me to speak on?" And then he said, "Why don't you say something whether things are accurate in that book? I mean, if you have any disagreements and so on." So then I started, but then found that there was no, I mean, he had obviously taken a lot of pains in being accurate in everything that he had written, but there are things that he did write, like the light that we don't see was what I was looking at. You know, he essentially created the marketing framework in TCS. You know, the first introduction of EX, you know, which he describes in the book, Guptaji's story in Mumbai, in the auditorium and so on, which made a huge impact. But immediately after that, we had a Computer Society of India convention in Chennai. I think it was called Madras at that time. I don't know. It was probably the time that the name changed from Madras to Chennai. And we had that convention in Park Sheraton Hotel there. And he didn't tell me anything. And we had a stall, TCS had a stall. I was the organizing committee chairperson for that event. And the previous day, I'm told that there is going to be a puja in the morning, which is all right. I mean, and then I was told that there was going to be an elephant that is going to come. So in the morning, there was this elephant which came along, and then there, of course, that's an elephant is a tradition in at least Tamil Nadu. So, but it is very rare for an elephant to be brought into a city to an event in a big hotel. It's a 5-star hotel, Park Sheraton, which is part of the ITC group. And then, of course, Havan and so on was performed, and it turned out to be a great big crowd puller as well. Another part of the story that he said, you know, we had just an imported, in late 80s, imported IBM computer mainframe, and he was there in the UK, and we had a client, Midland Bank, and we were doing a fairly complex project for Midland Bank. And then, you know, something had to be done from Madras at that time, and that couldn't be done because there was communication failure. So he tells the client that why don't you send 2 or 3 people there so that there is no need for a long distance communication, but things can get clarified there if anyone had any difficulty. So so then I got a call saying that, well, calls were expensive at that time, so I got some message at that time saying that 3 people from Midland Bank were going to come. This was in 1988 or 88, I think. And those 3 were, there was one guy called Keith Trotter and Shirley Williams and Gene Harris. These 3, no connection with India. And, you know, just think back of 1988, there was only Doordarshan. There was no other channel. And you had these, and they were all young, 3 of them. And we had to take care of them, because what would they do for 6 months that they were going to stay in Madras? They took to Madras, that was a different matter. But we had to make a lot of arrangements. And one of the interesting things that I had, which I think I told Elsie at that time, that we had to keep them engaged in the evenings and so on. So suddenly, and after finding out a lot of things, I found that there was a Scottish dancing club in Madras, which no one knew about, except that one of the partners had to be from the UK. It was not from Scotland. That was not that exclusive, but it was called Scottish Dancing Club. And therefore, they got into it, and then they got to know other people and so on. So beyond doing software work, we were also doing a lot of other things at that time. And the project was a big success. And I think, Elsie handled the customers very well, and we had interesting things. He talks a lot about Mr. Kohli in the book. Obviously, he has been a mentor for many of us and so on. And of course, Mr. Kohli, for all those people who knew him, I told him once that he was very demanding most of the time and more demanding at all other times. So he was one of those persons who could really make everyone work very, very hard. And then there was a lot of cast of characters around him, Nikki was there, he describes her, Kailash was there, and more importantly, there was a person called Narayan, whom he also describes in the book. And then, of course, Limji Malagambala, who was phenomenal, including a trip that he talks about to Mr. Natkani, I think, to his room, and where they were going to get fired, and Mr. Malagambala talks about the mustaches and so on, and then it takes a different turn, the whole story and so on. So Limji and many others that he talked about. And those were very, very interesting times, because Mr. Kohli would make us all, would essentially, being a mentor, which he describes very well, made sure that he understood what the person was attempting to convey. He was 1 or 2 steps ahead of that person, and in terms of thinking through. And also, one instance that Elsie talks about was very, very interesting, in the sense that there was a loss in the Middle East, and Elsie's advice was not taken at that time. But he told him later on why he didn't do it, because he says that that's the cost of teaching someone something, and that was worth bearing. So that was an interesting, that thing brings together a lot of the excitement that we had in a company that he says was 12 crores of rupees in turnover at the time that he joined, and building that company and taking it very much further. So there are many things that of course, one of the things that he talks about is signing an agreement with Mr. Shivashankaran. And he mentions that I was also there signing that agreement. I don't know how many of you know Mr. Shivashankaran, who's a pioneer, but he was a quote-unquote a character, forbidding in many ways. He was the one, who really took the early stages of computerization, and what he convinced him was to essentially include BMS in the computer that he was selling and so on. But to get him to our office and get him to sign was a big undertaking, and I couldn't have done it. No, I don't know whether anyone else could have done it, but Elsie got him to the office, and that really set the initial application software sale, product sale that TCS was embarked in. So there are many things I could go on with, because he said that, talk about whether it is accurate. It is accurate, but there are many things that he doesn't say, which are even more interesting as far as I am concerned. So that's an absorbing book, and I was not exaggerating when I said that I didn't take even 3 days to read that book, although it looks big at this time. But it's a very, very extremely good and easily readable book. Thanks a lot, Elsie, for writing the book.
Mr. Mahalingam, for your wonderful words and reminiscing. From the Scottish Dancing Club to how the book has resonated with you, I'm sure your insights have been appreciated by all our guests present here to pick up the book and peruse it at their own time. So once again, a huge round of applause for Mr. Mahalingam. We now move to someone who has seen a very different side of L.C. Singh, a side that has been shaped by creativity, storytelling, and artistic exploration. He has had a close association with L.C.'s creative journey and directed Banaras, a film written and produced by L.C. Singh, which went on to receive critical appreciation. So without further ado, my dear friends, may I invite to the dais Mr. Pankaj Parashar to share a few words this evening. A round of applause.
I think to speak after Mr. Mahalingam is a great tribute to me. I met ChatGPT in '94. He went by the name of L.C. Singh. Through some coincidence, I was asked to do a documentary on TCS on the 7 offices. Can you hear me? Okay. So that's when I was introduced to Infotech India. And it was, every center was a different experience. And they said, you have got to cover the languages. I thought it was Indian languages, it was computer languages. And when I finished it, Mr. Singh came in and made me re-edit a few things. His cinematic mind was working. And one day I went past and I saw these huge tank kind of big things. I said, "Ye kya hai bhai?" He said, "This is mainframes." And then I saw a room where Cyrus, my friend, was in charge of 20 kids from Xavier's, and they were making a glass. I came back after a month, they were making a glass. I said, "Karte kya hai?" They're computer graphics. I said, "Give me this room. Give me this room for 3 months." And then I went into making computer graphics to some other level with help of TCS. And I introduced them in my film, Rajkumar, which I was doing with Madhuri Dixit and Anil Kapoor. I made Madhuri dance against a blue chaddar, made a set. And strangely, BBC got to hear of it. They flew from London to say, how could this have been done in India at that time? It is not possible. I said, come, I'll show you. And they interviewed me, and that year I was in it's on YouTube. That interview was taken in TCS. So I've gone into Indian history, thanks to L.C. Singh, as a man who single-handedly brought computer graphic into India. Then things got more interesting. We became friends over glasses of good wine. And one day he shifted to Pune, and I saw his history and growth and Nayland and all that. And he said, come, I want to talk to you. I want to make a movie. I said, okay, documentary. He said, no, feature film. I said, fantastic. I've got this idea about a suspense thriller. It'll be a big hit. I can get Anil Kapoor. He said, nahi, मैं कुछ और बनाना चाहता हूँ. And he narrated the story of Banaras. I said, nahi, maza nahi aaya. I went home and it couldn't go out of my head. I went back to Pune. I said, LC, it's not going to make money. He says, no, but it is going to bring you something else, which no other film can get you. I said, let's do it. So we went, we shot Banaras, beautiful experience. The Mahant of Banaras objected to it initially. You Bollywood people come here and what you make. I said, script pad lo bhai. He read the script and then we shot it. And then we were invited to IFFI, Goa Film Festival, Panorama. It was a big occasion. We walked the red carpet, which I would never have done with a Sridevi or Anil Kapoor film. And after that, we had a screening for the Germans. And believe it or not, what the Germans came out and said, we want to meet the writer and the director, and we want to touch them. I had tears. There are people in Germany and France who have left and settled in Banaras after seeing this man's film, what he wrote. So hats off to you, sir. Continue with your ChatGPT side, and you're shooting the tigers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj Parashar, for highlighting the pioneering of computer graphics in India and giving us that beautiful backstory of what went into the creation of the film Banaras. I'm sure now we might, for those of us who haven't seen it, I'm sure we're eagerly going to go back home to make sure that we watch that wonderful film that has been made by the both of you. Now, to round up this evening of reflections, I'd like to call upon the one and only daughter of Mr. L.C. Singh and granddaughter of Mr. L.C. Singh as well. So please put your hands together as we welcome Swati and her daughter Misha to the mic.
Good evening, family and friends. Standing here today, I realize that most people know my father as an IT maverick and a creative thinker, but I simply know him as a man who has always had the right story at the right time. Today, we aren't just launching a book. We are opening a window into the experiences that shaped him. This autobiography, Things We Don't See, is more than a collection of dates and events. It's a record of his experiences, influences, resilience, his quiet sacrifices, and the values he lived by even when no one was watching. Writing this was a journey of reflection for him, and reading it has been a revelation for us. It reminds us that every life, no matter how humble, contains a roadmap for those who follow. May these pages offer you as much inspiration as his life offered Vikash, Sanjeev, my sister Nimisha, and I. A message from my mother, if she was alive. I'm still with you in every page you're brave enough to write.
Namaste everyone. From all the grandchildren, Soham, Vedant, Swena, myself, and Shivanj, we want to express our deepest gratitude to Nana for always being our mentor in life, and best of luck for his book. Thank you.
Such beautiful words from Swati and Misha, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely values passed down through the family tree. And a beautiful quote, I'm still with you in every page you are brave enough to write. I think that is one of the most beautiful things I have heard, and I'm sure you will agree with me this evening. So once again, thank you for these reflections from Mr. Mahalingam, Mr. Parashar, Swati, and Misha. We now move on to our next conversation, a conversation that goes beyond milestones and into questions, the pauses, and the insights that have shaped this journey. This is a fireside chat with the author himself, Mr. L.C. Singh. To lead this conversation, we have someone who needs no introduction, a name that resonates deeply in the world of branding and communication. Mr. Kiran Khalap is an Indian brand and communications consultant, author, and rock climber. He co-founded Chlorophyll in 1999, and since then has helped and build and transformed 475 of the country's most iconic brands through his unique blend of creativity and insight. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Kiran Khalap and, of course, the author himself, Mr. L.C. Singh, for their fireside chat. A round of applause as they come up on stage. Welcome to the stage, gentlemen. He's used to getting rigged as a rock climber. This is something different this evening. So as he gets a round of applause for Mr. L.C. Singh and Mr. Kiran Khalap. Over to you, gentlemen. The stage is all yours. Thank you.
Can you hear me behind? Yes. Thank you for the introduction. I think. Thank you for the introduction. That is okay. So, more than the introduction that you heard, I think what is critical is that I have had the privilege of being LC's friend since 1991. I had the privilege of being the first human being to know that he is launching Nihilant. I had the privilege of knowing that he is going to launch EX through a play. Nobody had ever done that, but it was all new in TCS, and LC was setting the tone for being the marketing head of TCS. I was the first, I had the privilege of being part of the film Banaras. So there are multiple privileges. LC, with your permission, we are going to start. Yes. Here's how we'll play it. I'll ask you some hopefully naughty questions about the book.
Sure.
But let me start with what I have written in the foreword. Yeah, it's a short one. Things We Don't See is not a book. It is a treatise. A treatise on understanding and managing relationships. Personal relationships, professional relationships. Relationships with family, friends, competitors, bosses, doubters, believers, chudails. With living beings, kittens, petals, squirrels, revealed lyrically by LC's photographs. With starlight, with rivers, mountain edges, rain and moonshine. With life and death. It is a treatise because it teaches you that all relationships are mirrors, reflecting what is inside you. If you see turmoil, it is because it is within you. If you see peace, it is because it is within you. That is why LC ends his story with, I realize now, I had spent a lifetime searching for something that was never lost. Everything is inside us. So that's my understanding of this beautifully written lyrical book. LC will start with one defining moment when you are in class 12. And you came to know that the results are not reaching Bhatoli for the next 24 years. It's the next 24 hours, sorry. And you and your friends got onto bicycles, rode through the night to Jaunpur, waited for the train to fling the newspapers out, and took it back. And you realized, your family realized that you were the only one who had secured first class. And then you had this, what we say, realization that what you do affects not just you, but it affects your friends, your family, and society. From that time, when you were 12 to now, how has that realization changed?
It has not changed, it has reinforced.
It is reinforced.
Absolutely. And what was family and society and the village became much larger. And whatever you do then impacts all your friends, all your associates, all your customers, everybody who has touched you in some way or the other, they all get affected by it, as you get affected by what they do. So it's now the responsibility becomes bigger. Every action that you take, you have to think that what is the effect of it going to be. And that's what makes you, I would call more mature, if you want to call. Earlier, as Pankaj was saying, you could get away being ChatGPT, but now you have to be careful before you say or act something.
Beautiful. So while you are going to read some chapters, right?
Yeah.
So what I will do is I will step away from those and ask you questions about others. Can you explain to the audience this unique gift you have of being at the wrong places at the right time, starting with Iran, which is currently a hot potato, then 1983, then 2001. Just tell them how you managed to be there at the wrong place at the right time.
In retrospect, it frankly sounds like madness. I was a grade 1 officer in State Bank of India in technical services, which used to be a dream job for everyone. And then I had this audacity to leave the job in 2 years and go and join Ministry of Finance in Tehran. And it wasn't for money. Just wanted to widen my horizon. That curiosity kills a cat. And I think that's what must have drove me. So I went to Tehran. But it was beautiful and very peaceful when I went. Everywhere you had Shah and Farah's picture in every room. And 2 years, like a volcano which was the sort of extinct, I thought, but it wasn't. Something was brewing inside, and while I was that erupted. So I was there throughout the eruption until Imam Khomeini came, and then they extended my contract, but I didn't want to stay, and frankly because I was a government employee and I didn't know how well it will be viewed by the next regime. Yeah. So I think that was the first adventure, and then I came back again jobless. So can you imagine, you get a job badi mushkil se in a company like State Bank of India, and then you come back and now you have 2 daughters and the family and you are jobless. So at that time, surprisingly, it didn't worry me. Today, if I had to think of, I think I would have developed cold feet. But I don't know. And I had in childhood of, this habit of jumping well, which has its own repercussion, and the book has it. So I think sometimes I have this urge of just jumping for no reason, So,
But you have to interrupt you. You have to tell them how one singer saved you in Pakistan while returning from Iran.
Yeah, so while I was returning from, and this is all there in the book, you'll enjoy reading it. It's written with a lot of wit and flair, so I think should. So the problem was I needed exit visa. So I had sent my family back, but I couldn't get out because until you are under contract, they won't allow you to exit. So I sent them back and I was there, and I had, by that time all evacuation flights were over when I got my exit. So the only flight which was flying via was Karachi. But there was a stay in Karachi, and you can imagine in 78, 79, we had just won, the war against them, and it was not a friendly relationship with them. And I had no visa. So the JAL manager, Japan Airlines, they said that, look, it's your risk. Either you be in here, in the middle of everything, or you go in Karachi, but you might get arrested because you don't have a visa. I said, I'll prefer to live in Karachi jail than being a victim here now. And that also there was the prompt, that we used to have a number of girls who used to work in ministry and very advanced. So few girls came to me saying that, why are you going? Because now the new government has extended your agreement, so you should continue. So I jokingly at that time had said that I don't want to see you in burqa. And can you imagine what a paradox? What an irony I think of. I'm not in touch with them, but I'm sure, if they ever watch on somewhere. And so that was one story there.
Karachi.
And then, the Karachi, then while returning, I came in Karachi. Surprisingly, I wasn't really afraid because I was just running away from a war, almost situation. On Muharram, there were the population of Iran in Tehran was 4.2 million. And when I saw 3.9 million people on the road with kids, old, everyone practically was on the road, I knew that is the end of the monarchy, basically. Then I came to, we sold everything off. There was nothing you could carry. So I came to Karachi and I took out my passport. I don't know how I was going to land up, where I was going to land up, in a jail or in somewhere else. So I had, the Begum Akhtar LPs in my handbag. They were actually showing off from outside. And the immigration officer, he must have been a ghazal lover or whatever. His eyes was on me and then slipped to the LPs, which were Begum Akhtar. And he was very excited. He said, "Where did you get those?" I said, Hindi में उसने कहा कि आपको ये कहाँ से मिला बेगम अख्तर? तुमने कहा मैं तेहरान में था, अभी इवैक्यूएशन फ्लाइट में हूँ, हमको बॉम्बे जाना है. ये मैंने रिकॉर्ड करके I left everything, I couldn't leave this. So he realized I'm also a big lover of music. So he said, okay, not a problem. When is your flight? I said, tomorrow. He said, okay, that's not a problem. The only thing you have to leave your passport here. But I assure you there's nothing problem. We'll escort you to the hotel and you again escort back to, and they did that now. So actually that saved me. The jail in Karachi, the Begum Akhtar, that's what he was referring to.
In 1983.
Yeah. 1980?
The riots.
Now, the Bombay blast, that day I was in TCS and we were just about launching EX at that time. And a number of agencies were working. We had about 11, 12 agencies working on the project, as you can imagine. And Swati's exams was going on, 10th standard, and it was in Colaba. So I left office, told others that I'm just going to drop her and come back. And so as I picked her up, whatever time was, the 1 o'clock or something like that, or 12 o'clock, picked her up and I saw a boom. That was the stock exchange building. So we thought some fire must be. As we traveled by car, about leaving, I said, no, don't. I'll come and have the meeting there now. So I finished about 20 minutes meeting and then left back to office now. Then I got this feeling, and by that time the broadcast was coming everywhere, that almost every important places were being bombed. And then it so occurred to me that Air India is not that infamous. I think it's one of the destinations, must be in the target. And lo and behold, when I reached, I was not allowed to enter because I could see the Bank of Oman and number of our colleagues were hurt and so on. So again, 5 blasts I missed, one after the other. And I had to be happen on the road that day. So that's what I was referring to, that wrong places.
And finally in 2001.
And then finally, I think the most shocking was that I traveled all the way, this is Neyland. We were shortlisted by AIG for insurance project, and it was new, we don't have any reference, anything. We presented a change management model, and looking at our prior experience with TCS and all, they gave us a chance saying that, okay, present it. So we're in the short list, and as you know, their head office was next to the Twin Towers. So our destination was that. But before that, I went to Boston. There was some work with Harvard Business School. So I went and I took the flight on 911 from Boston to New York. 911, Boston to New York, American Airlines. And my flight landed at 8:30 a.m. And while I was passing over the Twin Towers, me and my colleague, Sunil Singh, who was then with us in TCS, also then had joined me in Neyland. And this is not exaggeration, it was a fact. And that still shudders me when I think of that. I had traveled many times over the towers, but it had passed without any comment. But that morning, in the morning light, in the golden, light, the towers were really shining. And I just said, for no reason, that look at Sunil, the towers looking beautiful. And he says, yes, I'll say. And within 15-20 minutes, they were gone. वो कहते हैं ना नजर लग गई होगी शायद. But just imagine the coincidence. You travel all the way from there, and then 7 days we were stuck there. So that's what he was referring to. You have a tendency of either being there or escaping those, whatever, whichever way you want to say.
Yeah, it's a talent. Like all these other places, whether it is Mumbai or New York, Banaras has a special place for you, right? And so do I. You studied there, I taught there. But there was one incident that was an inflection point in your life where you met somebody there and that person said something to you and that set you off onto a totally different tangent. You never met that person again.
Yes. So there are moments in despair, and it was adolescence time, so you go through all kinds of phases. So I was very depressed. The only recluse I could think of, the Ganges. I was just sitting and in despair, possibly tears in the eyes, and thinking of what to do. And suddenly there was a sadhu came and sat next to me. And I don't know him, nothing. He also didn't. So he says something of the effect that, what are you doing? And I said, nothing, essentially. So he says, basically, to the effect was that, don't despair. There are things you must leave it to destiny. And he just walked away from the... So there are moments like that. In fact, some moments are not mentioned in the book, otherwise people will think I'm orchestrating like movies. But it happened in Haridwar, actually, not in the book. I was taking snan with Manorma. She took bath and I was taking. And suddenly a guy comes and says that, I want to gift you something. I said, what? And he said, there is a Rudraksh I have, which I have been worshipping for 12 years, and I want to give it to you. So so I said, I thought there must be a catch. There are so many ashrams, and he has spotted, the shakar. But he could read. As soon as I thought of that, he could read. He said, no, I have nothing to. Okay, I just saw, I felt, and giving it to you. And so he gave me, and in the name of any yoga or totka, that's the only thing I am wearing even now. So I don't know what the reason was, but these coincidences happened, yeah.
Yes, beautiful. So if you take your work life, there's SBI, there's TCS, and then Nayland. So we'll come to Nayland. But most of the corporate life that you lived, the lessons you learned were all at TCS. And there is a specific thing I want you to talk about. So you have this undercurrent of spirituality, you have this wonderment, you have this quest for what is bigger, what do I connect with. But in TCS, that's in the book, I'm not quoting my experience, it's in the book, you were faced with rank partiality, you were faced with manipulation. What does a person like you, with a totally different mind and heart, how does he face that?
I was an outsider because TCS, most of the people had grown there, essentially. Nirmal also came from actually outside, but still I'm saying you are an insider when I was there. Mahalingam almost entirely served only TCS. A number of people actually there. So generally it was believed that that you have to be born at TCS, literally, to grow up and so on. And possibly it still continues in some way or the other. So to that extent, but Mr. Kohli had the idea that at one time that we should bring outsider to give us fresh ideas. So he was a little more tolerant to our idiosyncrasies than possibly insiders. And I used to get amazed that, in fact, if I think of retrospectively, some of the things we got away, at least I got away, I don't allow my own people to do it in Neelan now. So the liberty like launching a product which he had no clue about what the play was and how we were launching. And yet the Tata Sons director, all the CEO, the entire press was invited resident for 2 days. And Praveen Gandhi was happily sent to fetch Mr. Kohli and Mrs. Kohli. And on the way, he got a beating of his lifetime. Praveen is there somewhere. There. Yeah. So, but I had told him, you speak not. If you speak, then problem. So he said, boss, I have no clue. What only Elsie knows. And I was prepared that as soon as Mr. Kohli arrived at Nehru Center, and he had almost 1,500 people in the capacity of 1,200. He caught me and he says, what are you doing here? I said, Mr. Kohli, it's too late now. Because now the play is going to start now. You have only 2 lines to play. So Om Katare, where is he? Yeah, Om Katare, who was the director of the play and the event actually, he took him and showed him this place where to stand when light has to come, which Kohli was not used to, being directed by somebody. So he was the only one who has directed Mr. Kohli. Okay, so the lines are very simple. Let there be light, let there be EX. So very simple, no speeches. So when Cyrus is smiling, he was managing the technology part. Fortunately, everything went flawlessly, and the event was very successful. It was a lifetime event by any standard. And even though we didn't have the sophistication of technology, but all these guys did fantastic job. So I think what happened also that tolerance also happens when you prove right. So initially, of course, Mr. Kohli will test you to the hilt. Like you are put in the fire, so you have to escape. But once he sees that, okay, you have the ability to escape, then he will start giving you more responsibility. So that's how you survive, and that's how you basically, whatever. But entire learning, certainly, we had Dr. Jain, Mahalingam, Kiran, with all people, basically they were exemplary. Yeah. And one was learning also just by seeing. It is my belief, one thing, that when you watch people and you are impressed by them, then you automatically start copying them. So that is the best way of learning. It's tacit learning, what I call it.
Yes.
So I think tacit learning was the clue how I learned in TCS.
Yeah. So this other side of, so you were working there. Now, how many of you have heard the phrase work-life balance? How many? So, related to AX, Nimisha wasn't doing well in exams and you took a whole month's leave. How is this work-life balance working out in such a situation?
Because then, unlike a dictum of some people's suggestion that everybody must work for 90 days a week, we never believed in that. And neither Mr. Kohli believed in that. But when you have to work with 24 hours a day you work,
correct,
for a full month if required. But then when you needed, that liberty was given to you. That what is more important. So it's not as the read term. It's a priority of what is important. So all I'm saying should not be demanded.
Yes.
But if you are putting or leaving your side of the bargain, then automatically the company also reciprocates. That's my experience, at least in TCS that was. We also try to do exactly that in Neyland.
Beautiful. So let's come to Neyland. Easily extremely unique brand name as far as
Thanks to you.
Yes. And we launched it with, there was this insight we had that when an egg is broken from inside, it gives birth to life. When it is broken from outside, it causes destruction. So that is how we created the logo for Neyland. And we launched it with a audiovisual based on Shankaracharya's Atma Shatakam. What is the journey with Neyland been? So there was SBI, there was TCS, and now there is something which is your own baby, your own name, your own culture. You ended up finally buying out the shares of the investors. So where is Neyland now in LC Singh's life?
Again, I think money has never been the objective.
Right.
I think it's what made me basically form the company was I wanted that freedom where it's not the stock markets dictate to you what you do, but also what I see the future to be. Sometimes you visualize too early, unfortunately, okay, and the technologies and other things don't follow that. But I think one of the things I would say I'm cursed with that I can, my thoughts are possibly much ahead sometimes than actually what happens. So companies suffer. So maybe also Neyland. But we tried to list twice the company. And Ramdev Agrawalji is here, Motilal Oswal, founders somewhere. Aap chupe hue hain, yeah. And so we tried with them. But frankly, and in front of you, I must say that I realized that and rightly so, that the investment or community is trained in certain way to make evaluation. Like a 10-year assessment of exactly your spreadsheet. So a spreadsheet-based valuation didn't appeal to me. I thought somebody should have a vision to be able to see what happens 5 years and those kind of backing. Sadly, the entire Indian environment doesn't support that, even till today. So all I would say that you understand that I'm doing what I want to do. We are creating a number of products, especially on the emotion side. We have created a philosophy called humanizing technology. And we are launching, in fact, the teaser for the emotion detection for everyone. And putting the emotions in balance from tomorrow. So you will see a product called NCPA, teasers from tomorrow. And as it builds in the next 15 days. So there's a product called Emoscape, which is a medical grade product, already certified by NIMANS, which is National Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience, also by MUHS, which is Maharashtra University's Health Sciences Institutes, and they have found it absolutely medical grade. So it gives us a lot of confidence, and now we are the first in the world. So things like that, again, we will be trying our best. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I think we must experience the beauty of LC's language. So LC, why don't you read out moments in your life which you have marked out as, which you have marked out as, which brought home this entire set of emotions between you, your mother, you, your uncles?
I think I'll focus on them because of three scenes I'll show.
Yeah.
One of Chudal.
Yes.
Is a must.
I think we need to explain what a chudel is.
No, it will be explained automatically. Let the child explain. And second, my grandfather, who again played a very big role in the entire family and our what we are. And then my wife Manorma, who is no more, but I think the parting was special and I want to pay tribute, basically by reading that chapter when she left. So this is basically a description of the village Batoli, which at least I have the Jaunpur was fairly known for wrong reasons, but I think Batoli should be known for a good reason, which is Chudail and Lakadbagga. So the houses were simple, mostly made of mud and thatch, but they radiated warmth and a sense of belonging. Life was not measured by possessions, by relationships and the gifts of nature. A handful of mangoes, cool well water, or the shade of a tree. For a child like me, Batoli was paradise, offering the freedom to explore and the contentment of a world complete. In those years, I didn't yearn for Banaras or anywhere else. Everything I needed was already there in my village, Batoli. I leaned in closer. This is the continuation of the first word which starts in the book, that I talked to my father saying that, Babuji, there are things we don't know. That's what Mama has told me, or we can't see. So I leaned in closer, lowering my voice, as though the shadows might overhear. So he asked me, like what? So I said, like the Chudal. I said, savoring the word, feeling a shiver of thrill. She's out there, Babuji. Mama says so. I pointed to the bamboo grove near the pond, just beyond the edge of our courtyard. This time he stopped pen mid-air as he looked up at me. His eyes were curious, a hint of surprise flickering behind them. Did you say Chudal? I nodded, excitement barely contained. Yes, Babuji. Ma told me. I kept my voice low, casting a glance towards the window. The trees loomed like dark shadows. Against the night sky, their branches swayed gently, and the mangoes hung heavy and silent, like strange faces watching us. She's out there, I whispered, lowering my voice even more, and she's always in white. Her feet, Babuji, they are backwards. This is what I was told. He sighed a sound that he was a school teacher. So he sighed a sound that felt like the coolness of reason against my warm, eager belief. Lal, there are no Chudals. He said, shaking his head, your mother says that to keep you away from the pond. It's just a story. Now let me finish my work, go to bed. But I remained rooted to my spot, disappointed, knotting in my chest. I didn't want it to be just a story. In the flickering light, with the night's eerie music outside, I could almost feel her presence out there, lingering by the bamboo trees, waiting in the shadows by the pond. Ma's seen her. I'm trying to convince my father. I whispered, as if my father's logic couldn't reach this one corner of the world. She told me so. My father sighed again, but softer this time. He looked at me, a hint of a smile in his eyes, as though he understood the excitement hiding behind my fear. He reached out and patted my shoulder, the warmth of his hand steady, reassuring. Lal, trust me, there's no Chudal. Your mother is just looking for you. Now go on and get some sleep. I nodded her, but I walked to my bed. The thrill of her story lingered. Not satisfied by my father's answer, my mind remained occupied, and I lay awake waiting for the morning to verify from my kaka, my uncle. So this was important. Kaka was a happy-go-lucky person with no significant responsibilities other than sleeping in the fully grown cornfields, guarding it from wild animals and thieves. He spent the rest of his time roaming with his friends, taking care of a couple of goats and keeping company with a talking parrot, which also called him Kaka. He usually left early on some errand or other, his footsteps silent before I woke up. I managed to catch him that evening. When he returned, I was eager to know more. Quickly, I offered to prepare his hookah, surprising him with my enthusiasm. Normally, I never did that. He looked at me affectionately, amusement glinting in his eyes. There are ripe fruits in the field. He said with a grin, I'll bring some for you. Encouraged by his warmth, I sat at the rear end of Charpai, gathering my courage. Kaka, have you ever seen a chudal? Many times, he said. He replied casually, as if it were a common knowledge. In fact, just last week, she appeared in the field where I sleep. Intrigued and excited, I moved closer, my eyes wide. Are her feet really turned backwards? I asked in a hushed voice. Of course, he said, nodding as he puffed on the hookah. And she always wears a white sari. She speaks in strange, raspy voice too, he's telling me. My breath caught last time she came. What did she do? I asked him, feeling both thrilled and a little afraid. She called out to me, he replied, imitating a low, ghostly whisper. He stretched out his name, Ram Murthy, channeling the chudal's eerie tone. I told her to sit on the brick not far from me. He continued as if this were an entirely ordinary occurrence. Weren't you scared? I asked, barely louder than a breath, as I listened to the night-time sounds around us, the distant cries of jackals, the rustling of leaves. Everything suddenly felt alive and expectant. Scared? Kaka laughed, setting down his hookah with a twinkle in his eyes. Ah, lol. Fear is for those who don't know these fields as I do. She is harmless if you treat her with respect. He winked, lowering his voice as if sharing a great secret. Just don't turn your back on her. So, the very small one, I'd never seen a city till my brother's marriage, my eldest brother's marriage. So we set off on a journey in a jeep that day. As we passed through the city of Jaunpur, I was both thrilled and a little bit disappointed. The thought of entering a city had filled my mind with grandiose expectations. I had imagined shopkeepers wearing crowns of gold, their stores glittering with jewels. Instead, I found bustling streets and ordinary people, and the shopkeepers looking like, normal human beings. So, yet my disappointment quickly gave way to wonder. The speeding vehicles, their sound, speed, and the buses, vibrant colors mesmerized me. They seemed like storms rushing past, carrying a world of possibilities with them. The marriage procession stopped for the evening at a school near Bakrabad, a small town along the way. To my delight, the school was situated right in front of a railway track. I was here that I had one of the most How inspiring experiences of my life. I still remember the moment vividly. I heard the sound of an approaching train, the sound growing louder with each passing second. I ran to the front of the school, standing there in breathless anticipation. When the train finally appeared, a colossal steam engine, huffing and puffing, its massive wheels churning with a ferocious energy, I was transfixed. The monstrous man-made marvel seemed to defy everything I knew about the world. It was alive, roaring and exhaling. An entity larger than life. The sight of it, the sheer force of its presence, shook me to the core. Until that moment, my life in Batoli had been defined by its slow, staid rhythm. It was a place where time flowed gently, where nature ruled supreme and life unfolded lazily amidst its bounty. The fields, the trees, the chirping of birds, all of it were serene, a tranquil paradise. But here in Bakarabad, the world felt unbelievably dynamic, loud, fast, boundless. The train, with its relentless energy and unyielding momentum, added a new dimension to my imagination. It shattered the barriers of what I thought was possible. I began to see the world differently, realizing that while nature's beauty could keep you in a state of transcendental awe, man-made marvels had their own magic. They too were extraordinary. They too could stir the soul. I'll skip the nine Anna story, which you must read the book and discover. The story of the pen and the 9 Annas. And I know the reason you saw the shot that I have this urge of collecting pens of all brands. I don't use them. But maybe it's just a hidden, that hunger of owning a pen which I couldn't own. And when I owned the pen, by the time actually I reached home, it had dropped off on the way. So that pain remained, and hence that. So I'm going to skip the story. But I want to, as I promised, my Dadaji was a freedom fighter, man of principles, and he was a Satyarth Prakash follower. So no Murti Puja. And my father was a Divide Shivite, and he has his own temple. So I'm not going to talk about rest. You can understand the tension. And if that wasn't enough, my mother was a Kabir follower. So you can see in my home, we had paths being pursued separately. That also reason why I made Banaras movie, just to create a that what is the destination is same, paths are different, basically. So I just want to give a glimpse of when my grandmother, which was very close to me, died. I was, of course, in pain, but I wanted to know whether my grandfather, how he felt. So, but my grandfather was, like a giant figure. He was also 6'50" inches, so it was not easy for a child to go and ask him. But I developed one day courage. So one evening, amid these proceedings, let me just have some water. One evening, amid these ponderings, I brought tea to Dadaji. It was part of my routine to do so, and he always took it from me with a knowing smile. That day, however, something felt different. I handed him the tea and lingered unable to leave. He noticed my hesitation and raised an eyebrow. "Something cooking in your mind?" he asked, half expecting me to confess to some mischief. But my question caught him off guard. "Do you miss Dadi?" I blurted out, my voice quiet but firm. His expression changed instantly. He took a sip from the steel glass, the sound of the tea slurping breaking the silence. He didn't answer right away, as if weighing my question. Finally, he spoke, his voice steady but tinged with melancholy. "In my life," he began, "I have seen many deaths. So many persons I knew closely are no more. People you see today, they too will go." He paused, taking another sip. His gaze drifted far away to a place I couldn't see, a time I couldn't imagine. And soon, he added, "I will be gone too." There was no sadness in his voice, only acceptance. "What's born must die," he said, as if stating an immutable law of nature. He took a few more sips and handed back the empty glass. He looked at me briefly before returning to his thoughts. I walked away dazed, trying to comprehend the weight of his words. His acceptance of life and death felt so absolute, so detached, and yet there was something deeply human about it. He wasn't resigned or bitter. He was simply at peace with the inevitability of it all. The night, as I lay under the stars again, his words echoed in my mind. The universe, vast, incomprehensible, suddenly felt even more mysterious. If everything that is born must die, what was the purpose of it all? Was life merely a fleeting moment in the grand design of the cosmos? Or was there something more? The question piled up, their weight pressing down on me even as the cool breeze swept over my face. Perhaps Dadaji's calm acceptance was his answer to the chaos of it all. Maybe he saw life as a cycle, each end giving way to a new beginning, like the stars themselves, born from explosions and destined to fade only to give birth to something new. That summer, under the canopy of stars, I began to realize that some questions might never have answers. And perhaps, like Dadaji, I would one day learn to live with that uncertainty, finding peace not in knowing, but in simply being. The universe remained a puzzle, and I, a part of us, its vast story, was left to ponder my place within it. Lots of material. Yeah.
Wanted me to read something.
You want me to? I'll read. So I and Manorma, my wife, we had traveled to South Africa because we just had a granddaughter, Swena. And we were about to return when Manorma fell ill. On the last day, in fact, we were traveling next day, and she fell ill, and she had pneumonia, and she was admitted to hospital. So I will just read, the last days of just her journey. And Swati too was expecting a baby, and she was in America. So what a paradox, she couldn't travel, she couldn't come, and Nimisha had a baby to look after. So we didn't tell Swati how serious it had become. She was 62 days in ICU, so you can imagine. She was days away from delivering her baby, Swati, and we didn't want to shake her after Misha was born. Swati was told, but she couldn't travel. That is the Misha who came and spoke. Then came the coma. Manorama's organs began shutting down. Slowly, a specialist who had grown deeply attached to her kept trying. He hadn't given up. Neither had I. I had one important meeting in Tanzania with the Commissioner of Income Tax. It was crucial. I left for 2 days. Just that one day I didn't visit her. That was the day Vikash called. Papa, please, Vikash, my son-in-law. Papa, please come back fast. I left recorded a sound bite. Vikash later told me she had responded to that bite. Her body had moved. When I reached the hospital the next morning, she acknowledged my presence. Her hands moved a little, her eyes flickered. I had no doubt she had been waiting for me. She had dipped in my absence. The ICU was a revolving door. Patients came, recovered, left, but Manorama remained. She didn't want to go, it seems. I would have traded anything for her to get better. I never gave up, not until the final day. That morning, the hospital director called me aside. He spoke gently, directly. 3 organs have failed. Her chances of survival are now below 2%. I nodded, but all I said was, I'll wait. 2 days later, on 11th October, she took her last breath. I held her hand half an hour, crying. I couldn't let her go. Not yet, not like that. When people you love are alive, they slowly become a part of you. You don't realize it until that part is torn. When Manorama left, it wasn't grief. It felt like being skinned alive. Something essential was being taken from me, not from around me, but from me. I could only imagine what Swati must have felt. She was the youngest, she was closest, and she couldn't be there. We cremated Manorama at Johannesburg crematorium with all the rites. Vikash's family and relatives stood around us, crying, quiet, shaken. Nimisha did everything, holding her mother one last time with trembling hands. After the rituals were done, she was laid on the conveyor and would take her into the furnace. I stood still. I saw Jeremy, my chairman of Nailand at that time and largest shareholder. At a distance, he had come for the rites, silent, respectful. I looked at Manorama for the last time, decorated lovingly by Nimisha. She still looked beautiful, timeless. For a brief second, tears flowing, I felt myself transcending, lifted somewhere beyond words, and then I was back. The body had moved out of sight. At the end, I was left with a small wooden urn. That was all that was left of her body. The rest, her laughter, her eyes, her stubbornness, her hand in mine. Was scattered everywhere where I could no longer reach. And then I sat there holding the urn. I looked around at Nimisha and the young ones. I remembered the old rhythm, the cycle of death and life. I looked at Svena. She was just few months and she smiled.
Want to read the epilogue?
I'll just read the full acquisition of. So there was a negotiation going on, and there was a party who had offered to buy NTT shares. So it comes from the Rothschild. I don't know, Alok was supposed to come, whether he is there. He is the MD of Rothschild. As we parted, I asked them to submit their offer in writing. They did. I had a meeting with the MD of the acquirers. Throughout the book, I have not revealed the name of them. So I called Rothschild. We the friends, so I could took the liberty of. I called Rothschild the same day and told them everything: the private overtures, the contradictions, the quiet breaches. They were silent for a moment, then deeply betrayed. Both parties were soon issued their respective valuations formally and in writing. The lines were now clear. This while, my bankers had been gently urging me to consider acquiring the company myself. I resisted. We were prepared to sell. Each of us had, in principle, accepted the possibility. We had made peace with the idea of transition. But for me, something bigger was at stake. Nayland wasn't a company. It was a living idea, a new generation firm built to challenge the old model, to lead with new technology, newer ways of doing things. I wanted the spirit of Nayland to retain, and that I had doubt that it will continue with the new acquisitors. There was the condition, a Vedic principle, if you like. Those who came after us must respect its essence. They must protect its character, not strip it for short-term gain or reduce it to a tool for exploitation. We had built more than revenues and dashboards. We had created platforms with the potential to shape the future, some of the products' names and things like that. And I also sat down with my colleagues, Meenu, earlier in the TCS, Shubho, and other company secretary Rahul. We spoke at length. Everyone agreed. It was no longer about valuation or timing. It was about trust and the future. We made a counter offer. We matched their numbers. No games, no premium, no discount, just the truth of what it was worth. Entity, already aware of what had transpired and perhaps feeling let down themselves, accepted our offer. The term sheet was signed, and after long drawn out negotiations between lawyers, tax consultants and advisors, and approval from entities committees, the agreement was formally signed off in the last week of December 23. And this is epilogue. After the book is over, I am sitting in Pune. I realize now I have spent lifetime searching for something that was never lost. The joy, the presence, the meaning, they have always been there, but I had to forget them to remember. Desires came and went, beliefs rose and fell. Even the gods I once chased were born of longing. But beneath it all, it was only this: to be without effort, without expectations, just to be. Perhaps that is all life ever asked of me, not to become, not to conquer, not to accumulate, but simply be, fully, honestly, quietly. And so I leave this story not with answers, not even with insight, but with stillness, the kind that asks for no name. Because in stillness I see now what was always true. You are, therefore I am. Thank you.
So, do we have time for questions?
We could take a few.
Anybody?
I also just want to acknowledge the number of people and guests have come later on, and Harish Mehta is here, I can see. NASCOM's, founder. We have, I can't say still everyone, but people who are in front, I'm just acknowledging your presence, please. Pankaj Shukla ji wanted to say a few words, I think. Pankaj ji. Pankaj ji.
Hello everyone. Instead of asking a question from LC, I would like to ask a question to Uday Bhai ji. उदय जी, एक सवाल का जवाब आपसे चाहूँगा.
आपसे पूछ रहे हैं.
थोड़ा आवाज़.
जब BHU में आप लेके आए थे इनका एडमिशन का लेटर बताने के लिए कि एडमिशन हो गया है केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग में, उस दिन की खुशी और जब LC लौट के पहली बार बाहर से विदेश से गांव आए थे, उस दिन की खुशी में कौन सी ज़्यादा खुशी बड़ी थी आपके लिए?
बता दें आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? हाँ? आपको फिर से बोलूं क्या बोल रहे हैं?
मैं फिर से
नहीं बता देंगे.
जब आप केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग में एडमिशन के लिए लेटर लेके आए थे, वो ज़्यादा अच्छा खुशी का दिन था या जब फॉरेन से लौट के आए वो ज़्यादा खुशी का दिन?
नहीं, वो जो तिवारी जी जो लेटर लेके आए थे नई बस्ती से, और डॉक्टर त्रिपाठी के लिए उन्होंने दिया लिफाफा, बोले इसको त्रिपाठी जी को ही देना. और जब लिफाफा गया तो उसके 5 मिनट बाद उनके जो हैंडलर थे मिस्टर कबीर जी आए, बोले वो तो ऑलरेडी हुआ था लेकिन त्रिपाठी जी रोके हुए थे, जाइए हो गया. और ऑलरेडी हमारे ग्रैंडफादर जो है बहुत इम्पेशेंट हो रहे थे घर पे, तुम अकेले चले आए और कोई था नहीं वो, और मतलब शी मेड हेल ऑफ लाइफ ऑफ माई मदर. उन्होंने कहा कि तुमने उसको भेज दिया, तुमने कहा TD कॉलेज से आ जाएगा आज तक, और आया नहीं. बच्चे कह रही थी हमारी मदर कि इतना कभी जिंदगी में हमको नहीं, उन्होंने कहा उन्होंने हमको मारा नहीं, बाकी सब कर्म कर दिए. और मैंने तुमको 1 हफ्ते तक रोक लिया बनारस में, ये तो बड़ा तजीबा हो गया. जिसको 2 घंटे के लिए नहीं छोड़ते थे वो 1 हफ्ते के लिए गायब हो गया. फिर हमारे एडमिशन तुम्हारा हो गया, मैंने फीस भर दी. मैंने कहा अब जाओ तुम, यू कैन कम कंफर्टेबली. और चूँकि हम ऑलरेडी वहाँ पर सीनियर थे तो हमने कहा रैगिंग वैगिंग का तुम्हें कोई डर नहीं है और हॉस्टल का कोई वो नहीं है, यू लिव विद इट. ऐसे हुआ.
इंद्रमणि हमारे क्लासमेट है तो शुड इंद्रमणि जी को जरा दीजिए.
हाँ इंद्रमणि.
बहुत
इंद्रमणि के दे भवनानी को दो.
Well, friends,
थोड़ा करीब करो.
उदय चंद जी हमारे सीनियर थे और 3 साल सीनियर थे ये, और बड़ी रैगिंग होती थी उसमें बनारस में, बहुत तगड़ी होती थी. और मुझे याद है कि मुझे तो काट के अंदर घुसा दिया गया और कहा कि तुम्हें हनुमान चालीसा नहीं आता, क्योंकि यहाँ पे मेरी चोटी थी मोटी सी, हैं, हनुमान चालीसा नहीं आता. जाओ संकट मोचन में और वहाँ पे हनुमान चालीसा ले आओ, याद करो, कल सुबह सुनाओ. LC बहुत अच्छे थे, हम लोग बहुत दिन तक साथ रहे. हम लोग साथ ट्रेनिंग में भी हम लोग साथ साथ बरौनी रिफाइनरी गए, तो 3 महीने हम लोग साथ में थे। नीचे हम लोग सोते थे। हमारे एक पांडे जी थे वहाँ पे चीफ केमिस्ट, उनके घर में हम लोग नीचे सोते थे दोनों आदमी। कोई बिस्तर नहीं था, सिर्फ चद्दर बिछा के हम लोग वहीं सोते थे। वहीं पे हम लोगों ने ट्रेनिंग लिया, साथ साथ हम लोग रहे। और इनकी बहुत सारी खूबियाँ थी। एक खूबी ये थी कि ये सोचते थे कि हम बहुत तेज़ दौड़ सकते हैं, बहुत लंबे हैं, और जो है ये नहीं बहुत तेज़ दौड़ सकते हैं। स्पाइक वगैरह सब खरीदे और रोज़ जो है प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए ये साइंस कॉलेज की फील्ड में जाया करते थे। तो कुछ दिनों हमको भी ले गए। अब हमारे पास तो कोई साल्ट वगैरह कुछ था नहीं, लेकिन मैं इनके साथ गया। इसके बाद जब हम लोगों का जो कॉलेज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी था उसका टेक्नो स्पोर्ट्स डे होता था, तो हम लोग जब वहाँ गए तो ये 1500 मीटर की दौड़ में दौड़े, हम भी साथ में लग लिए। ये बीच में छोड़ चले आए। ठीक है, नहीं मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको, बीच में छोड़ चले आए। नहीं पोल नहीं, मतलब ये तो देखिए दोस्त है ना, तो इसलिए बहुत चीज़ें बतानी पड़ती हैं। लेकिन ये बहुत जीवट के आदमी थे। भाई साहब उस समय यहाँ पे यूसी सिंह बम्बई में थे, है ना, कोहिनूर में काम करते थे। लालचंद बीटेक करने के बाद यहाँ आए और इनके साथ रहते थे। आपको याद है भाई साहब? याद है नहीं?
अरे पूरा याद है।
हाँ,
पूरी किताब पढ़ो।
हाँ वही
मत बता दो।
पढ़ूंगा। तो ये बहुत जीवट के आदमी थे। देखिए जो आगे बढ़े, गांव से थे, हम भी गांव के हैं, इनके पास के ही रहने वाले हैं, इसलिए बहुत चीज़ें हम लोगों की कॉमन हैं। लेकिन ये बहुत जीवट के आदमी हैं। ऐसे जीवट के आदमी मिलना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है। और ये गांव से उठ कर के टीसीएस में रहे, बहुत ऊंची पोजीशन पे नीलैंड टेक्नोलॉजी की स्थापना की, बहुत कुछ नया काम कर रहे हैं। पर्टिकुलरली इमोशंस के बारे में जो इन्होंने बताया, बहुत बहुत बढ़िया काम कर रहे हैं। तो मेरी तरफ से तुम्हें शुभकामनाएं भाई।
थैंक यू।
आई विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट। यू हैव डन अ लॉट एंड आई फील दैट यू विल बी।
Thank you so much.
Harish, word from you?
Sir, I wanted to say.
Yeah, please, yeah.
सो एलसी साहब हमारे बहुत सीनियर हैं कॉलेज के। मैं तो 93 में पास आउट किया, सर बहुत पहले पास आउट किए। बट और मेरा सौभाग्य रहा कि ही ऑल्सो हैपन्स टू बी पार्ट ऑफ माई बुक कॉल्ड वाराणसी विजनरीज, सो वेयर आई हैव रिटन अबाउट 30 पीपल। और मेरे ख्याल से मैं इतने सरल व्यक्ति से कभी नहीं मिला हूँ जितने सरल व्यक्ति एलसी सिंह साहब हैं। और उनकी जो भी कहानी मैंने उस टाइम भी सुनी और अब भी सुनी, उससे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं। तो सर यू आर अ वंडरफुल पर्सन एंड एन इंस्पिरेशन फॉर एवरीबडी। और इतने ट्रस्ट और इतना सब कुछ करते हैं, मतलब मैं इनके बिहाफ पे कई चीज़ें अपने एल्यूमनाई के लिए कमिट कर दिया करता था और वो चेक लिख के दे दिया करते थे। दैट इज़ द काइंड ऑफ पर्सन ही इज़। अमेजिंग पर्सन, very difficult to find a person like him, and I don't know how does he do all these things that he keeps doing. So thank you so much, sir, for being an inspiration for all of us.
Sir, one last question.
I also want to acknowledge the presence of Mrs. Kohli, which I didn't see, so I would like to invite her actually to say a few words.
One last question.
Let me escort her, please.
In front of witnesses, when are we making Banaras 2?
Sorry, Mr. Kohli. नहीं आप आई नहीं, एक बार कैमरे के सामने।
We have in our presence today Mrs. Swarna Kohli. She's the wife of the late Mr. Kohli, Mr. L.C. Singh's mentor. So let's give her a big round of applause as she's here today representing her husband, Mr. Kohli, who has played a very impactful role in Elsie's life. And also we'd like to give a huge round of applause to our moderator this evening, Mr. Kiran Kalap, for moderating this wonderful fireside chat exceptionally. Beautiful stories all the way from childhood up to current years. Welcome, Mrs. Kohli. Also, to let you wonderful guests know that this book has been dedicated to Mr. F.C. Kohli. So let's... Thank you, Mrs. Kohli. We are honored by your presence this evening. Mrs. Kohli, would you like to say a few words while you're here with us today?
You want her to come there?
If you're comfortable where you are, ma'am.
Yeah. Congratulations. It's a great function, and the great that the work that you've done is really something amazing. All the best, and we hope and pray for a lot more honors and for you to get.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kohli. Thank you very much. I would also like to call upon Mr. Jawahar Shah, who would like to present Mr. L.C. Singh with a special memento this evening. Mr. Shah.
A very, very good evening. It's a great pleasure to be here this evening with Madam Kohli ji. We have known her for last 40 years. Thank you, Madam, for gracing the occasion. It's my great privilege to be here. I am a homeopathic physician. I mean, all of you must be wondering why I'm here, right? I know Mr. Nirmal Jain, whether he remembers or not, we started the development of the software with TCS. As a physician, I must have taken 2.5 hours history of 50,000 people minimum, and I would say only one word. Elsie is the most balanced person I have seen in my life. In the history, we ask for the work, the life, and family and society. As somebody said rightly, he has kept a balance at every stage of his life. We are here to talk about his today's book, but I keep this book next to my bed every day, The Collapse of Illusions. And this, I use it as a relaxation and my journey for the next day. The aphorisms which he has written inside enlightens me, ignites me, energizes me every day. So on this occasion, I would like to present a memento which is, you know, all of you remember the Ram Navami day, 22nd. So this particular, come here, madam. This particular memento, the cover which you are seeing, is of Ram Janma Bhoomi Day release. The stamp is of Ramayana and stamped on the same day. So this is a memorabilia which I would like to gift him today. And below is, of course, the Valentine Day, where Abu Dhabi, this particular temple was released with the Pramukh Swami's stamp stamped on the same day. So to mark this occasion, sir, salute you because you love everybody. And Swati, Nimisha, Manorama ji, everybody will be very happy today to see him sharing his journey. Madam, आप और हम मिलके देंगे. I have had a very good occasion. Sir, please come. Sorry.
A big round of applause to Mr. Jawahar Shah.
Thank you. One photo with you on this occasion. Come. नहीं, इनके साथ भी एक. एक ले यार, इतना हग अच्छा तो मेरी वाइफ भी इधर है. Love you for everything what you do for the world.
Thank you, Mr. Shah, for that heartwarming speech as well as the memento that you presented to Mr. Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, after that impactful and riveting fireside chat, which contained happy stories and some deeply sad ones as well, I would now like to invite to the mic the man of the hour, the author of The Things We Don't See, Mr. L.C. Singh, to share a few words as we come to a close of this wonderful evening. So once again, a round of applause to L.C.
Most respected Mrs. Kohli, we are honored to have you here. And I mean every word when I say that you are there, therefore I am. Because I can't take enough names, and all of you are sitting here who have known me. I've learned from every one of you, otherwise you won't be in the invitation list. So from something, and it's been privilege actually right from childhood. I was grateful to my parents who gave the values, my grandfather, my brothers, and even my friends in the village. They give a beautiful life, as you will see in the book. Somebody yesterday asked me, so how was the struggle in the village? I said, struggle? That were the best days of life. So that was no struggle at all. And never in the life I felt a struggle at all. It's a learning actually. And every failure also you learn, that's okay. And then during the college years, my eldest brother, who is still there, his picture was there with the book I presented to him. And he is 94 now. And he was the true teacher. And one of the dedication of the book is to Yashwant Singh ji. And also then Mr. F.C. Kohli. So it was not, it was genuinely out of the millions who have touched my life, they were very, very special. And they found, and that's why dedication has gone to Mr. Kohli, because whatever professionally I am, it is because of him. Whatever individually I was, I think education-wise, it was because of my brother. And the nonsenses that my wife had to bear with the 24/7 working, and all that, that's why dedication to Manorama, and who is not there. And then, not that is the exhaustive list. I was told by publisher you can't have more than 3. But my brother, U.C. Singh, from that point onward, when I left the city, he played the key role. And when I think of, you have tears in your eyes, because he used to eat in canteen, general canteen, but he enrolled me in the private mess. So that's the kind of sacrifices and love which you... And you will see in the book there's nothing hidden. Whatever is covered is full honesty. We were in slums in Bombay, and you will see that what importance of a bucket of water is actually on. So there's, so I think that also helps you grow. So you never look down on anybody, and you learn even right from your driver, and behave well with them. You have to treat them like a human being always. And frankly, somebody said that my cook, my driver, have been there for me for donkey's years, 25 years, 30 years, because they feel part of the family. And then beyond that, then you come to State Bank of India. Again, number of friends were there, still friends. Kumar, I'm sure, must be listening from Bangalore, remain friends. Many of them remain friends. Then TCS, of course, illustration, right? Everyone is here. Most of the senior management is here, and that's again love and affection. And it was because they were role models. Also, I imitated initially, and then you put your own kind of adventures and this well-jumping kind of urges, and became something different. So it's not imitation; it's basically learning best things out of people. Then the dealing with the other people's work, like Harish, by selflessly at that time, the mate, CSI, and the NASCOMs, and the mate and NASCOM both were his baby, and came from Hendritron and did fantastic work. Yeah, Harish. So I persuaded you to come here. Yeah, please. Yeah. Come.
Since he talked about NASCOM, there's one story I wanted to tell, but I wasn't sure whether it's the right forum or not. But now let me talk about that story. And that's about LC. Come here, sorry. Many years back, about maybe 20 years back, we had a serious challenge internally within NASCOM. One of our senior vice president was asked to go. And of course, the proper paperwork was done. But after he left, he filed a case against 2 former NASCOM presidents and 2 former chairmen of NASCOM. And then we came to know that he has 2 sons who are also lawyers. And this case was filed in Delhi High Court. And he was very clear, he'll put all these 4 people behind bar, at least for 1 weekend. That was his goal. And we were all worried, how do we work with this gentleman? So finally, someone found a way to approach him. And they asked him, are you ready for a settlement? He said, yes, provided the only person I trust in the IT industry, and he gave 2 names, but the one person he said, I trust in the IT industry is LC Singh. And he helped negotiate that agreement, and those 4 individuals are so grateful to LC for sorting it out. And of course, and I would say that NASCOM is strong, or IT industry is strong, and has contributed to change India, is substantially, I would say, because of people like him. You have Nirmal, you have Maha, you have Kiran here, so many from the IT industry, each is a stalwart, and contributing. But the integrity is something which, with the competence and all other factors, is an unusual combination. So thank you, Elsie, for making this happen.
So I'm going step by step, thanking everyone. And so even friends in Tehran, some of them remain in touch. And naturally what is going on today is very worrisome for them and for us. But I found one thing, that in Iran, essentially they are poets, very highly intelligent to the degree of almost self-actualized. And I also found that the girls were more smarter in kind of practical terms, but men were almost sages. And I'll give you one instance. I was leaving and I had a lot of dues from the ministry as retained sort of bonuses and things like that. And before leaving, I had to, ministry said that we can only transfer the money locally. Then your friend has to send you. So I talked to my colleague, a guy Shams, and it's there in the book. And he asked me one question, Mr. Singh, what happens if I don't send the money? I said, so what happens? It will go to my brother. And the money, he had tears in his eyes. And of course, came and money came. So that's the integrity we are talking about even for those guys now. Okay, I blessed them, the country to become peaceful again. And so that was another journey. And then essentially the BHU, all the mates, you can see the number of my friends are here. We have got Deepak, I've got BG Sampath, his son is working with us, and Jayant Shroff, he's a spiritualist, also a big supporter of a certain party which is in controversy. Yeah, Indramanini Mishra, he was the basically joint dean of the director of the Roorkee campus of IIT. So these are all, they look in this environment different, but they're all achievers here. Everyone, I think, frankly, I must say that, And so Indramanini Mishra, again, a very great friend. And he was again now still visiting professor at IIT Dhanbad. So, and then he's building a school and things like that. And then later on also in life, I think Nayland, a number of people because of whom the company exists. Meenu Dastoor is hiding somewhere. Meenu and Banu, both were in TCS. Banu was with me since possibly 85, 86. And I remember one incident, Meenu won't mind sharing, with reference to Mr. Kohli. So I proposed Mr. Meenu Dastoor to go to South Africa. So I had to persuade Mr. Kohli to do so, to agree. So I went to Mr. Kohli, I said, I want to send Meenu to South Africa. He said, who? I said, Meenu Dastoor. He says, well, he went back in the chair and said that as long as you keep him away from me, I'm fine. Because he's the only one who used to go and fight with him. So that's Meenu Dastoor. He's the CEO of Nayland now, along with a number of people actually who are not here. But being so, it's, another colleagues here now, Suresh Matre, Jeevan Prakash, they are all part of my team, and they are all colleagues, and without them, we would be nobody, quite frankly. So, number of people who are watching possibly from America, I know that. And so, grateful to all of you. And as I said, remember the last sentence of the book, you are, therefore I am. And so people who are seen here, they, of course, I'm grateful, I've always learned. The other people, like people like Pops, again associated with me since the TCS days, And then now they are part of Nayland. The creative Kiran Kalap, of course, he all did. So I take no credit, frankly, of whatever achievements. I don't think there's any achievement at all. It's just like a fluency. You feel like doing it and you're doing it. So that's the world to me. I only hope that, the people who are not there here, unseen, they are also part of the book and part of my life. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are, therefore I am, such wonderful words. Ladies and gentlemen, L.C. Singh sharing all his beautiful life experiences with us this evening. Now to deliver the vote of thanks, renowned advertising creative director and author, Mr. K.V. Sridhar, also known as Pops, to deliver the vote of thanks. Please put your hands together as we call upon Mr. Sridhar to the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, LC, for letting me do what you did to FC. So he allowed me to celebrate his book and then this event the way I wanted. Thank you, LC. Now that we have learned what to see, there are some people needed to be seen today, and I would like to thank them. Firstly, Penguin and Pit Maple for their wonderful cooperation and producing such wonderful book and launching it across the world simultaneously. It's fantastic. The second, team, young team, which has created the cover image and then the design which you are seeing. I want to acknowledge both of them, Rujul Tilve and Sam Kondiparte. Raise your hand. Then I want to thank the team which actually put all this show together. Yasir, wherever you are, still the man behind the scene. Yasir, Mustafa and Ashutosh. Yasir and Mustafa have sacrificed their Eid to do the artworks for this show. Thank you. And I also want to thank Prabal. The beautiful video which you have seen on LC's life, it was produced, directed and written by Prabal. If Prabal is here? Yeah. So wonderful work which he has done. I want to thank him. And at the end, our lovely Nayland team from Pune, they drove all the way from there to here to really see the last minute things and then wonderfully executed this. I thank all of you, and I think don't want to wait between you and dinner, and also to some of you and then the drinks. Bar is open, dinner is served. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. Ladies and gentlemen, copies of Things We Don't See are available for purchase at a 25% discount this evening at the Book Zone, and LC will also be available for a book signing shortly. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for taking a moment to pause and reflect on things we don't see. I am Bianca Rosemeyer. I was your host this evening, and I would like you all to continue to have a wonderful evening over dinner and drinks. Thank you once again for your presence here. A big round of applause to L.C. Singh for launching this wonderful book. And I hope each and every one of you get a copy tonight, a signed copy at that, and happy reading to everyone. Thank you and good night.